Mystic Museum presents a new horror immersive experience, Horror High Reunion. As an alumni of this creepy campus, revisit your past and haunt the halls with your favorite classroom cult classics. Opening June 22nd at the Mystic Museum in Burbank, California. Thanks to our spooky sponsors, Midsummer Scream and THS Entertainment. Hope to see all you killer class clowns and prom scream queens at this year's Horror High Reunion.
This is the Rawl of the Dead podcast with your host, Rawl of the Dead.
All right, so hi Eric, how are you?
Good, how are you?
This is Eric from the Mystic Museum.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for the... What are you drinking?
Some seltzer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm drinking water. So.
It looks like water, smells like alcohol.
So how have you been? How's everything going?
It's going.
Yeah.
You know, that's it's best I could say. You know, having fun doing what I do. It's been a tough year, but you know, it's going. You know.
No, yeah, same here. So yeah, we did an event together a few weeks ago,
Yes, we
which
did.
was pretty cool. I did a photo booth here, and you had your it was what was it called? The Hellraiser fundraiser.
Yeah, it was the Sip and Scream,
Sip and Scream.
Fund/Hellraiser.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good time.
It was fun. I've been trying to work with you for a while, so that was a perfect.
Yeah,
perfect event.
We
Yeah.
met at Midsummer Scream, and you came by my photo booth. So yes, we got to definitely. Do
And I got a
something together.
photo, and it was awesome. And
Yes.
it's in our scrapbook.
Oh,
me and
nice.
my girlfriend. Yeah, it's awesome.
I should give you a high resolution file of that so you can print it out somewhere.
Yes, put it on
Let
my
me know.
wall.
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. All right, so Eric, obviously from the Mystic Museum, is here with us, and I've been wanting to interview him for a while. This place, the Mystic Museum, is the thunder's going off here. It's raining. It's raining hard
We keep
here.
it spooky. We definitely keep it spooky here.
But I've been wanting to come here. Well, I've been coming here for the last few years, and it's just an unbelievable museum that you have.
Thanks.
You got everything, oddities. You have events. But I want to find out first of all your early history, like before the Mystic Museum.
Okay.
What were you doing prior to this? Before this happened?
Wow, that's a good. No one's ever asked me that before in a podcast interview. So you want to know about me?
Exactly. I want to know exactly what you were doing prior to this. Like, were you working at somewhere else? Were you going to school?
Cool. I'll try to make a long story short. So way prior, like my education, I was highly in the arts. So arts and crafts, art school, things like that. I went to a trade school for graphic design, and it was right at the cusp of, and I'm going to age myself, where the first and second semester, it was all drafting tables and drafting boards.
I remember those.
You remember those?
I remember those, yeah.
And then we came back from Christmas vacation, and everything was computers. And half the class dropped out when it became computers, and me being one of them.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, for a while there, I was just like, I did not want to involve myself with that. I wanted to really sit and draw and build and do stuff with my hands. And so, but that was a very naive thing to think about. And now I'm still in the works of learning how to do all these programs and use the computer because it is an awesome tool.
I wish I knew more about graphic design on the computer. I don't know how anybody does it. I mean, it's definitely like a learning curve. It's one of the things I was going to try to learn during the pandemic. That was one of the things I wanted to dive into a little bit more, and I ended up just doing a little bit more video editing, and
well, that's good too.
That's what I ended up doing. But yeah, I remember the drafting board.
I think it's for me. I'm such a physical person. I like to do things physically. Like, so my art took a turn from the paper to tangible large items, sculptures, things like that, and obviously the exhibit itself. And so it's hard for me to sit in front of a computer. Yeah. But it's really easy for me to spend 20 hours building something out of wood and sculpting clay and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So were you doing that in school?
Just on a tiny scale, like it's art classes, they would have that type of thing, but not in school at all.
Okay.
I learned a lot of that kind of carpentry from my grandfather, from odd jobs I had when I was growing up. 1 year between in summer break, I was an electrician apprentice, learning that stuff. So I took a little bit of everything I learned, and then for a bunch of years, I was about 4 or 5 years, I was maintenance that turned into remodeling apartments. So I learned a lot about maintenance and remodeling and how to build the interior of an apartment. And so I kind of learned that skill, and I took my artistic, mind and my skill of building and carpentry, and I kind of combined it into what we do now.
That's awesome. I wish I paid more attention with carpentry stuff and just learning a little bit more, because when I was working at Fox, watching all them build the sets, it's just amazing. I learned a little bit, but the skill level is just amazing that what they can build, and I wish I could do that, because I have so many ideas that I want to build.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know how to do it.
At first when I had ideas to build stuff, it's just, how can I just made it up. And it ended up the finished project looked good. But sometimes I feel like if you were to see my process, you'd be like, this person has no idea what they're doing. But in hindsight, I think that's how everyone gets their start.
Yeah.
And then you end up developing techniques that you like to use and you rather use than traditional techniques. And so that's kind of what I did. I just kind of made it up using different skills that I learned and to do this. And then learning traditional skills along the way through friends and customers and people that are willing to help.
Yeah. So were you doing any type of work doing that?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
for a long time. So after the graphic design thing didn't really pan out, I went to work in a restaurant, and I kind of went really gung-ho on culinary, and I was made my way up to sous chef, executive chef, and worked in many different styles and locations, just cooking for a living. I did that for 15 years, yeah.
Wow, so you can definitely cook.
I wouldn't say that anymore. I could cook more than most people, but not as amazing. I feel like I lost a lot of my skills and the touch just because I put a lot of focus into something else, and I don't cook that much when I'm working 13-hour days and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I do enjoy doing it as therapy, for sure. It's really nice to be able to sit there and just chop vegetables and cook your own things. I think cooking kind of lends to a creative mind as well. If you're into arts, I think you also like to cook, because it can be artistic, but it can be also just it's like you do what you want, what you feel.
It's weird that you say that, because since I've been working for myself, I started cooking for myself as well, because I stopped eating out.
Yeah.
I had to definitely drop some weight, and a lot of it had to do with the fast food.
Yeah.
And so I started learning some recipes, only a couple of things, nothing big, but definitely trying to stay on the healthy side. So, and there's something satisfying and relaxing about cooking.
Yep.
And I've been wanting to actually go to the next level, maybe take some classes and learn a little bit more.
And I want to do that too, even though I've done it for so many years, because I was doing mainly Italian food. I'm part Italian, so I was like, I'm going to stick to my roots a little bit and learn.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your
culture.
specialty was.
Yeah, it was Italian, and then that becomes very very hearty, and so you can't eat that every day.
No, definitely not.
And I try to learn different techniques here and there, different things, and it's fun. It's fun to learn, fun to grow, fun to try different things. Just like art, you just throw in what you want. You just like, this thing doesn't call for green peppers, but today I'm going to put green peppers in it.
That's what I was doing. I was putting carrots, green peppers. Sometimes even the tacos, I'd mix in the hot sauce with it. Mm-hmm. Onions, whatever I could think of. I made chopped up potatoes, threw those in the tacos, and it was just. And I'm trying to just be healthy and health conscious about it. So
I kind of even believe even if you're eating stuff that is traditionally unhealthy, just cooking yourself makes it that a little bit more healthy.
Yeah, I think so too. Because you don't know what you're eating at most of these places. It's like if you're eating twice a day like I was, it's I started seeing the pounds kind of add up.
I've fluctuated. I mean, I think anyone that has followed the shop for a while might have seen a little fluctuation here and there. I mean, I remember the first few years of owning the shop, I gained a lot of weight, and I would say it was happy weight, because I was finally doing what I wanted, working a lot more.
Yeah.
But I was definitely eating out a lot more in order to put more time into the shop.
Yeah, because you don't have time. Now things are so available, like DoorDash and Uber Eats. And it's let me just get all this delivered now. I don't even want to go now. So, it could just be delivered.
So yeah, I was doing the cooking, and then it kind of like this kind of leads right into opening up the shop. I wanted
to talk about that too. Like, how did that happen?
So this is my recollection back then. It was we're going into our 11th year. We're in our 10th year now, and so it is our 10th year anniversary, which is
nice.
awesome. We even have commemorative shirts that are commemorating our 10-year anniversaries, and I made it look. Designed them so it was definitely horror and spooky related, very 80s vintage looking, but also kind of looks like a hardcore band T-shirt, which is also cool. So it has a big X in the middle for 10, so it's really fun. So I was working at a restaurant, and they put me on salary, and I thought, I made it to the head chef, and I'm on salary, but it was low for salary, but then they just stacked on the hours. That's
how salary usually ends up.
Oh man. And then so not only stacking on the hours, they're stacking on, you're doing a double shift Christmas Eve and Christmas Day by yourself. And being the higher up, being like, well, I thought because I worked the last 4 Christmas Eves and Christmas Days and all of the holidays, that now that I'm in the higher position, I would get those off as well because I've paid my dues. No salary, so they didn't have to pay time and a half to their employees, but not to me. They didn't have to because I was on salary. So I decided I was going to try something else, and got like a part-time job as a kitchens consultant, but was very depressed. Like, okay, what am I going to do now? So I took a stroll up down Magnolia, and it was from North Hollywood all the way down to Olive. If anyone's familiar, you'll know that's a pretty long walk. And on the way back, I saw this little tiny house that was for rent that was on the main street, Magnolia, and it was like I think it was a seamstress or something was working out of there, but they're about to retire, so it was for rent. And so I said to the person that had their business there at the time, I was like, hey, I'd like to rent it. And they gave me the landlord's number, and I called the landlord on my way walking back, set up a meeting, and that's kind of basically how it happened. I just decided if I, wasn't going to really make a ton of money working for somebody else, let's not make a ton of money working for myself. Exactly, and that was my mindset. It's like, just be happy, try to do what I want to do. And at that point, I really wanted to kind of sell vintage and antiques, which is what I was really into, especially the creepy oddity stuff. And so that's what I did. And then it was about a month later, I had the store open.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And was it that seamstress house? Was it a house? Did it start off as a house?
It was a former house of the owner of the building. The owner lived there and started a practice, was the doctor, and had they were doing nursing schools there. Okay. And lived in the back as they started the practice, and they kind of grew and got bigger, and they decided they were just going to lease it out because their practice got so big they had to move. And
gotcha. So the original place was not here; it was somewhere else.
Yeah, it was literally like 3 blocks away.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was. And so we just we expanded. That was the first shop. That was the oddity shop, and then we expanded to the Mystic Museum about 3 years later into the location we're at now, and then this location kind of branched out on either side of the Mystic Museum. So we took over both locations on either side, same building, but had different tenants, and now we have the whole building.
Gotcha. Yeah. And were you collecting oddities on the side anyways?
I was collecting them not even knowing that they were oddities at the time.
Oh, okay.
It was so long ago. It was before that word was a really huge, wasn't really prevalent in society. And obviously that TV show, Oddities, kind of like made the whole collecting of it blow up. And I already had it, so it was kind of already in the collection of vintage stuff I was selling.
Yeah.
Along with traditional antiques and retro, collecting a lot of retro stuff, which I still do. And so it kind of made its way in there. And then when I realized there was a term, which was literally only like less than a month of being open, I kind of leaned into the oddity side of the stuff. Okay. And that's kind of what got
and were you collecting, were you a horror collector as well?
Yes, here and there, and,
Okay.
kind of sprinkled it in my dioramas I would make at home in my shelves. There'd be like
Yeah.
an old Monster magazine, Mad magazines, and then like old antique tins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of like used it all as decor and aesthetics.
You know what I should have donated to your museum is I had the American Horror Story, I think on the 3rd season with Cuba Gooding Jr. It was called Roanoke. I think.
I know that one.
They had those kind of like Blair Witch type of things that were hanging.
Oh no, you got
Remember that? I remember they ripped it off, but one of the guys, I don't want to get him in trouble or anything,
Yeah.
but he gave me one of those because I asked him for it
Oh,
because they were
nice.
breaking down everything. I go, oh, dude, can you give me one of those? And he gave it to me, but it really creeped me out. And I had it for years.
That's perfect. I'll
and
take it.
But I ended up, and you're going to kill me, but
Yeah.
I ended up throwing it away.
People do that a lot. Things that creep them out, they throw them away.
I should have brought it to
So many
somebody.
times there's people come in and go, "Oh, you buy Ouija boards?" I go, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, I got creeped out and I threw it away." And I go, "Oh, that sucks,"
I know. I know. I had it for years. I had it in a bag, and I was just like, every time I'd break it out, I'm like, this thing is just really creepy. And somebody was told me, he's probably lying to me, but he said it was made out of human hair.
I mean, some things are made of, like, we sell
Yeah.
a lot of things made out of human hair.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I ended up using it for a prop for a couple of photo shoots, and it came out cool. And that's really kind of what I wanted it for. And
It's got its use, so that's good.
yeah, for sure. So, so you also play music.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I did that for a while when I was younger. Toured a couple times on the East Coast. Was in a band that was making it, but didn't make it because that's really hard to do in the music
Yeah,
industry.
totally.
Played with a lot of great bands back then. It was definitely a different time of my life, and it was really awesome. I opened up for Take Back Sunday, My Chemical Romance, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it was fun, and it was a great time. And then, like most bands do, they break up, and everyone grows up, goes to college,
Yeah.
have kids, does the things. And so I didn't do that for many, many years, and now I just started doing it again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your band?
It's called Too Bad So Sad, and it's actually I cover the bands that I used to open up for. So we're an emo and pop punk cover band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you guys play a lot of shows?
A lot of shows actually. We're getting booked like
nice.
crazy. Yeah, it's so much fun. I mean, last year we did Ghoul's Day Out. Unfortunately, our guitar player's out of town this year, but yeah, we played it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so it's
coming
cool
up.
because it meshes like the horror community and the music community kind of like
Yeah.
comes together with that. And so I thought it was going to be something I was going to do completely different, and turns out it like really meshes and molds together. So it's,
Yeah. No, yeah. And are you doing Ghouls Day Out as far as the
Mystic Museum will have a booth there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. I think that's this weekend. So by the time
This
you're
week.
hearing this podcast, it's already happened. So
Yeah. So hi, if I saw you there.
So the other part of the museum is that's no longer available. That's no longer around.
So there was a the last exhibit we did at our expansion museum, which was Evil Dead. Both of our current exhibits are closed until the reopening of the new exhibit, which we'll get into later.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I want to talk about that.
So that location is now getting streamlined to everything is going to come here, and then we're going to focus a lot more on building a bigger, better exhibit in our main location.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
That exhibit ran through its course anyways, so we did the dates we're supposed to do it, and we had fun doing it, and it just seemed like I really want to put so much energy into this next exhibit
Yeah.
that that place won't be available anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll do, the plans we have for this new show is amazing. So I think it's well worth it. Well worth it.
Now, I know this. You told me last time I was here that you guys you rent it out for movies and commercials.
Everything.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
so-
what anything I might have seen that
Yes. So the original location, we did Storage Wars there, which is awesome.
Oh, okay.
And you could probably look it on YouTube and see me. I appraised some World's Fair tickets.
Oh,
So
okay.
they filmed there, and they had me on there as a guest appraising some stuff.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that was an experience. That was like the first introduction to realizing that Mystic Museum and the Oddity Shop kind of like was interesting to the public, and people wanted to see it and come and check it out and film and have a good time. And so that was a really great experience. And so that's when we're like, okay, we could rent it out to people to do things. And we rent it out for birthday parties, which is awesome. So if you want to have your birthday party, you can do it here. Rap parties. We've also I wasn't in it, but they did an episode of Adam Ruins Everything with Weird Al, which was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Like, he was dressed up as a devil, and I didn't know it was him for the longest time. And then as I say devil, and I would have freaked out because that was the first cassette tape I ever bought was a Weird Al, I think, Fat album or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would have freaked out. Knowing that he wasn't, if I wouldn't have known it was him, I probably would have freaked out. But it was awesome. I was like, who's this guy in this really awesome devil makeup? And then later during the day, closer to the end, so I was like, well, that was Weird Al. I was like, oh, awesome.
Oh, you didn't even know the whole time?
I didn't know the whole time.
Oh, wow.
It was great makeup. What else got filmed here? A lot of shorts. I think something just got, I think it's streaming now, Satanic Hispanic. I don't know if there's a lot of promotion around it.
Okay.
Yeah, they filmed here and at the other location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so.
That's a short.
I think it's an anthology.
Oh, anthology.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everyone should go check it out because I saw some clips from it. It looks amazing.
I got to check it out for sure.
And then we filmed. Oh, Beyond the Gates was at the original location, which is a horror film that's on Netflix.
I think I've heard of that one.
That was pretty fun. And
wow, that's a lot of stuff that's been here.
Oh, a lot of dating shows. Josh Gates Tonight, and we were featured on it. Did an Annabelle scare tactic commercial for one of their films.
Okay.
So, and they had me play myself and basically bring people into the back and get scared by an Annabelle doll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really fun. Like, and especially in the last minute, just them going. They were trying to get me to train the actor to lead people into the back and talk about the museum. Yeah. And it wasn't enough time for them to know everything. So they're like, "Do you just want to do it?" And I had to quickly fill out something to become an extra and all that stuff. And like,
yeah, because you're probably talking in it.
Yeah, I was talking, so I had to quickly fill out a lot of paperwork, and they said, "Okay, there you go, you're in it." And I think it ended up better because I could just talk about like, "Oh yeah, this is this, that is that," and I was able to talk about the museum and then lead them in the back.
You know what you're talking about, so it's almost like not even acting. You could just you're just
exactly
showing them around.
Which I think like I've done a bunch of reality TV shows, and it's the most fun because you're not actually acting, you're just being yourself.
Yeah,
it's great, yeah.
Have you ever anything paranormal happen here?
Oh man, I don't think you have enough time in your podcast for that.
Oh my god, really? I didn't even know that. I just thought for sure, probably not. You know what I mean?
Probably not. Probably yes.
But probably yes is the right answer.
Yes. So many things happened. Me personally, a lot lot of things like
outside of the Mystic Museum, you're talking about?
No, here
at
the Mystic Museum.
Gotcha.
Let me. I need to take a sip for this one.
Yeah, I'd like to
I'll make another long story short. So, one of the biggest things that happened to me was when I was remodeling the. So the Mystic Museum was here first, and then we eventually moved the oddity store next to the Mystic Museum and got rid of our original little house setup. And as I was remodeling that, we had tarp in the walkway that we built to go from one store to the other store, and that way dust wasn't going into the store while it was open. And I was here it was exactly 3 a.m. when this happened because I was here late working.
3 a.m.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it sounded like a kid running across the entire length of the store, slamming their feet down, dragging a sheet of plastic, which sounded like the plastic that was being that we had hung blocking the door. And it was so vivid that I didn't think it was a ghost at first. I thought somebody broke into the shop.
Right.
So I grabbed my bat, called the police, and it turns out it was nothing. Nothing showed up on the cameras. The alarm doors didn't show that they were opened or anything. Oh, wow. And it was so vivid and scary. It was the only time I ever left all of the lights on and just locked up and ran out and just went home.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
That's totally creepy.
But a lot of other things, little things happened.
Well, it's and it's 3 a.m., so it's kind of already. I feel like bad things happen after 2 o'clock, anyways. Well,
that's considered the witching hour. So
it is. Yeah.
So that was fun. But I really hate being here alone at night. After that, I'm not technically really afraid of ghosts or the paranormal.
Right.
I'm just it just feels weird and irks me in a way that I just don't like being alone in this place because of that.
Yeah, I've even just sometimes like where I worked at in the warehouse by myself, and you got to go in the back and it's dark.
Yeah.
You start to like freak yourself out, like you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like,
man, this thunder is on point, man. The timing is impeccable.
you have it timed really well.
Yeah,
well, the thunder that's going on is totally timed really well. Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the upcoming exhibit that you have.
All right. So the new exhibit is called Horror High Reunion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're taking a little bit twist on our themes. So if you know anything about the last two themes, we kind of did, the eras. We did the 90s, the 2000s, and a lot of people expected the 2010s, or they expected, us to go backwards, which I kind of really wanted to do. Yeah. But in looking at some of the films I kind of wanted to represent that I haven't represented yet in any of our exhibits, it was a lot of films that kind of took place in a campus setting. And so, there's old 70s films that really focus on, and 60s films that focus on high school. Like there is one called Horror High. And I just remembered like their poster art was incredible. And I kind of wanted to bring that vibe of this, like the poster art, what it was like when we were in high school, really first being able to go to the theaters and watch horror movies that were taking place in high school, like Scream being the first one of them. And a lot of people could really relate to that. And it was a very nostalgic time, I think, in everyone's life, because it's not just like a decade, it's actually your specific time in your life. Right. And any age, when you're in high school and first were able to either sneak into a film, finally see an R-rated film, all that kind of stuff. And so just circumventing that nostalgic feel felt like this was a great opportunity to kind of like, really have our audience kind of like really like kind of feel something when they come into this exhibit.
That's awesome. And are you working on that right now?
It's working on it right now. So even when we're done with this, I'm going to be going right into the next room and tearing stuff down. Right now I'm rehabbing the old exhibit and tearing it down and building it up. Right now I'm scraping, painting, sanding, pulling stuff down, all that kind of stuff.
So everything that I've seen here, like I see the saw. The bathroom. Did you build all that? Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was 90% designed by me, and then obviously I have help. I have employees. I have helpers that really help me. I have input from friends and outside sources. But for the most part, I
that's great. Yeah. It looks legit.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks legit. All the stuff, even the what's it called, the American Psycho.
Yeah.
That one looks awesome. I mean,
that one I had a fun time doing because I've done that before. So I've done that before. I got hired to do it for a special event. I've done it at a convention, and this was the time I was able to really bring it back into an actual exhibit. So I was able to add a lot more detail and touches to it. Mm-hmm. And if you really look back on it, and if you could find some old photos that people posted, I tried to get it to as much as I could inside of a space that's like temporary. Yeah. I even found like almost the same exact speakers that are usable that we ended up playing like some of the music from the film on. And, I even built like, a curtain to look like his little patio curtain, like the living room. And I found the exact same furniture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't cheap. That furniture is highly collectible. And it's very posh 1980s furniture. It's almost like office lobby furniture for corporations, And so, but it was worth it. It definitely makes you feel like you're in the scene.
Yeah, and so like some of the stuff that we're seing here, like we have this prop here. We have this one over here. This is all stuff you built.
I either built or commissioned some really great artists to build.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to like sculptures and statues, I definitely outsource that to people I trust.
Definitely.
So I'm more of the building of the physical space, and when it comes to some of the sculptures, I have a roster of people I really like to use, people that are in the film industry that do it for a living for movie and television.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing though.
Yeah.
I love the way it looks.
Thanks.
You can always get lost in here and just scroll anywhere and you'll find something cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people come in plenty of times, like once, like 3 or 4 times a week, and they live in the neighborhoods. Like, every time I come in here, I see something new.
It's
like,
true.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because you got to it's probably hard to keep it different all the time as well.
But I try.
Yeah, I know.
really
It's
try. Yeah.
Has a city have they ever told you anything about it being a maze? Because it's not a maze, but you've had exhibits where you can go. It's seems
like a walkthrough.
It's like a walkthrough.
Yeah. No, I'm really good at knowing the codes and
Okay.
the dimensions on what you can and can't do, and everything is made ADA compliant. Everything is made city compliant, and everything is
Okay.
made. Yeah, I research all that because I just want everyone to have a fun, safe experience.
No, yeah, I read about that. Certain places they have to have certain codes. And they can't be a maze if it's a museum or something like that. I was like, I didn't even know about this.
It's really the length of the things you build and the height of it, and what you can and can't get away with.
Yeah.
So that's why some of the rooms are still really, really open, and everything you can see is just corners.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the most part, it's the exact way it was. It was when I rented it. It's the way the setup was.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of utilized the space.
I love it. And you have celebrities that come here as well?
Yes, all the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anybody in particular that that stands out?
Patton Oswalt shows up a lot, and
Oh,
he
okay.
comes and hangs out, and him and his daughter go through the exhibit all the time, and
Nice.
he's a really good shopper, great supporter of the shop. There's I don't even know there's
Eli.
oh of course.
Hello.
Who?
So yeah, there's so the last exhibit we had a couple people that have actually donated props from their movies, like Eli Roth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he obviously.
I did see you posted something that he was here.
Yeah, he's here. He donated a lot of his props from the movies, which I have to return soon.
That's awesome.
But when you went to the hostel room and there was the chair that you sat in, looked like the hostel torture chair. It was the actual chair from the movie.
Oh, wow.
And it was on loan
didn't
from
know that.
him. So he's been here. He brings his family a lot. They come and walk through. They look at everything.
That's awesome.
Mike Doherty that did Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Donated some stuff. Has been here. It's.
Did he donate stuff from the movie from Trick or Treat?
Yeah, there was the Forced Perspective bus that's in the Trick or Treat was here, and then a severed head of one of the kids in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was here for a
That's
while.
awesome.
Yeah,
You
it
got
was
some
awesome.
cool stuff then.
Yeah, it was. I was really grateful that they really wanted to work with us. And,
No, that's
and,
awesome.
donate their stuff. So it was awesome.
Are you going to be at Midsummer Scream?
Oh yeah. That's our
Okay.
go-to convention for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to ever miss one. I thought
No.
maybe we're gonna have to miss this one, but we don't have to. So thank God.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's always a great event.
Yeah.
And yeah, so so the new exhibit that's coming up, when is that going to be? Do you want to announce when that's going to officially be ready?
Yes. So I think we were pushing for mid-June, but it's going to be June 22nd. Yeah, June 22nd. We just kind of finalized the date today. Kind of pushed it back a week just so we could give ourselves a little more time to make it amazing and make sure that all of our special order stuff gets here on time. So
Yeah.
June 22nd, it's going to be pretty fun and amazing. And I don't know. I think I don't know. We'll see. You know what I mean? I have really high hopes for this, and I tend to kind of I don't want to say overreach, but I come up with ideas for activations that I really have no idea until the last second whether I could pull it off or not.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
for the most part, I can. I work with a really great team on that as well, and I think they really appreciated how I push the envelope on what can and can't be done, and how I take technology that's already made and kind of reuse it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And try to, because I think that like walking through our experience is way different than most experiences. It's part art show, part photo op gallery. It's part Universal Studios Horror Nights. It's part haunted house. It's part like a little bit of everything. And to be able to like make it, well, how can we make it, the customer experience to be really enjoyable and the activations to kind of really hit when they need to hit and make it easy to use too. And how can we make it to be, because I'm really keen on making it as screen accurate as I can. So if I'm looking for what's in the background on the top of the refrigerator in the way far right corner, I'm really trying to see what it is and trying to make sure that I find the exact like cup that was on there. And if sometimes I have to like specially make it or I do it for something just like is way in the background. But then I try to incorporate the activation within the scene without compromising the scene.
Gotcha. What's something that you would love to see that you could replicate here from a movie?
Oh man, that's a good question too.
I'm trying to think of one that I would love to see here. It's just for photo ops purposes, like.
Actually, one I would love to see is in Nightmare on Elm Street. A couple of them, they did this thing where one was where they're walking through blood. It was like kind of gooey and their feet went in it. And one was they're walking up the stairs and their foot went down into the stairs. If I could incorporate to where the customer gets to walk through this and their feet sink in and stuff, I would. But I think that's too dangerous. But that would be awesome. Or the Nightmare on Elm Street where they get sucked up to the ceiling. Like they rise all the way to the ceiling and they're like moving around on the ceiling.
Was that from the first one, right?
First one, I think that was Johnny Depp. Yeah. Was it Johnny Depp?
No, it wasn't Johnny Depp. It was the guy with the leather jacket.
Oh, yeah.
That had no shirt on. I don't know what his character name was. But I remember watching that movie in repeat when we first, this is how old I am.
Yeah.
When it was available for rent on VHS. And I remember we just had that on repeat the whole weekend. Like, my friend's got a VHS player. And he was the first one to have one. And we were just watching that almost every single weekend. It was
I think
childhood memory of mine.
One of the questions I always get asked to, or I hear asked a lot on some podcasts and in interviews is like, who's your favorite like villain? And it's weird that it's kind of just because of how nostalgic it is and because same thing where when those Nightmare on Elm Street movies were coming out, I was watching them either when they're being released on television or renting them on VHS. Right. So Freddy just seems to be really in my mind a little more forward than the rest of the villains, and so I kind of like lean towards Freddy. And I also got the glove for Christmas one year, and that was like
there
awesome.
You go.
That was awesome. I was just like
having the glove is awesome.
I was like very surprised. I was like, my sister got it for me. I was like, really? Something cool for once? Awesome. Yeah.
You mean it's not a sweater?
Not a sweater. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm trying to think who. My favorite villain. I think I like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. Trying to think. I just watched The Strangers, the Pray, not the new one, but there's one called Pray at Night, or They Pray at Night, or something like that.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one yet.
I'd like to see a Strangers type of thing here. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yes, we did work with them for some marketing recently.
Really?
Yeah, for the new movie. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe one day.
Yeah, something a little bit like
I have a list of like 100 things in the back of my mind for new exhibits. So, man, if I could do like 20 a year, I would. But
I know it's just
too time consuming.
It's the time consuming. Yeah. Like Beetlejuice, the new Beetlejuice coming out. Like that would be something that maybe you can incorporate later. Like.
I'm doing some Beetlejuice stuff for the Midsummer. My setup at Midsummer.
Perfect. Yeah. So, I'm gonna have to definitely drop by.
Yeah, one of my original photo ops I've ever built was the Beetlejuice little, Inferno room, the little house.
Yes, I think I know. Yeah.
And it's from this little miniature, so I'm gonna bring that back and with some other stuff. So,
I remember they had an exhibit like that called Scary. What's it called? Scary Stories or something. It was an exhibit that they had opened up on Wilshire, and they had all these like props, and I forgot what it was called. I forgot what the exhibit was called, but it only ran for like 3 months.
Okay, I think it was like I like scary movies.
I like something. I like scary movies. It was something like that, yeah. And I thought that was pretty cool because they had all these props. Did you have anything to do with any of that stuff or no?
No, I believe some of the the stuff for it was some decor was bought here for that, but I had nothing to do with it.
okay.
But I was working so much, I didn't even get a chance to go.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
So I, feel bad, but I would have liked to seen it.
So, as a business owner, did you ever think you would be a business owner? First of all,
When I was really young, I thought I was. I was like, oh, I'm going to own a concert club or something like that.
yeah,
But no, like, I didn't think that for the longest time. And I think it was once, like, I realized I couldn't pay my bills just doing the normal stuff that you're supposed to do to hustle, to get a job and work your way up the ladder. I just said, why don't I just try it? And, I was making, little steampunk lamps when that was popular. And then, I was doing that at some fairs and it wasn't really going well. And then that's when I was like, you know what? I should just own a store,
Yeah.
And I kind of like from the thought in my mind to opening day, it was like almost just a month. Yeah. Probably a little bit over, but I think it was about 30 days it took to open up the shop, and I did it, and it was bare. It was bare, and there was nothing in the shop, but that started the snowball effect of where we're
yeah. I
at
mean,
today.
I think that's pretty ballsy just to go ahead and like, you know what, I'm just going to do it, and it's just an idea that just came to your head, and look where you got now.
The hard part was learning the legalities of owning a business and the taxes and the licensings and the permits and all that stuff. So that was something I really had to hustle to try to learn within like a month to make sure I opened up a legal store and then keep it legal and keep going. And then as you progress and do, get bigger and everything you add on to make sure you're doing that. That's part takes a lot of your day.
Yeah, because I think people just think automatically like the people that open the stores they're coming for money, and I don't think that's the case with everybody I've talked to. Nobody's come for money. Everybody's like hustled. They started from nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of similar stories where like they weren't really like happy where they were what they were doing.
I grew up really poor, really poor. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. Like there was nothing like we didn't have anything special. You know what I mean? And even like quitting my job, like. After 15 years was hard, but now I look back at it, I'm like, this is like the best thing I've ever done for myself because I'm happier now.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm willing to take the pay cut. I'm willing to not be in a union and have all the benefits and all that stuff and the retirement. Like, you know what? I just got to live my life now,
I think especially when you're like, when you don't really come from a backing or supportive backing and you have to do it yourself, you learn the I guess just how to like really work hard and hustle and like kind of do what you want. And I will say I didn't think I was going to work as much. I'm working on way more than I'd worked.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
And I'm just like, wow, it's 24 hours basically. I do wake up around 10:30 and usually don't stop working until about 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like the same. It's the same with me. Like I'm sometimes midnight. I'm still editing, or like even today, like podcasts. But I was shooting earlier, and then editing, and then getting props for another shoot, and then scheduling stuff as well. So
yeah, I'm dipping my toes in every little tiny thing every day, where it feels like I'm never getting anything done.
That's the way I feel. I'm like I got so much on my plate. I'm like, but it's all good because it's all fun and it's stuff that I love doing anyways.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, so I can't wait for the new exhibit to come out. And where can people find you then?
You can find us on all of the major social media platforms.
There you go.
Instagram, TikTok. Where
and you
else?
have a website too, right?
We do have a webpage. We're in the middle of revamping it. But there's a link in our Instagram to a link tree to some very special stuff. So right now we have the link to when we did the event with you. And the link tree is to find your photos from whenever we came and took photos from you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you could go to our featured products that we have for sale straight through there. And then obviously like any events that we have coming up is right there.
Perfect.
And really look forward to seeing everyone here and definitely seeing everyone for the new exhibit and at all these conventions that are coming up.
I can't wait either. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Well, thanks, Eric. Thanks
well,
for
thank
talking
you.
to me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing this. And I got to do this here at the Missing Museum, which is something I've been wanting to do, like
It's
a
a great
podcast
setting.
here. Yeah, it's a great setting. So,
And you want to use it
And we
again, let
got-
me know. Bring whoever you want.
I got my friend here, my Martian friend. So
You got
I'm
support,
glad- I was
yeah.
like, I needed somebody, my co-host, to sit with me.
There you go.
So,
I
all
just
right.
got the ghost sitting next to me. It's
There you
okay.
go.
Yeah.
The little boy that was scared you at 3 in the morning.
Nice.
We'll make sure we're not here at 3 in the morning. So.
Yes, I'm not going to be here that late today. Cool.
All right, Eric. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
we'll talk
it.
to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.